Okay, we're gonna talk about something that is only slightly controversial, not because it actually is. It's only controversial because of the way that people talk about this topic. And the topic is just women in the Minecraft community. It seems to be a topic that comes around pretty prominently on Twitter, but also just in general in the Minecraft community of women not being involved in the Minecraft community enough in terms of like the content creators and like the representation. And I think that it's a very important topic to talk about because I think that a lot of people have different views and opinions. And of course, my video here is also just going to be my views and opinions. But I guess it's coming from a perspective of someone who has lived through what it's like being in a Minecraft community that it's just very walls up, and you can definitely feel the vibes as you enter. And what I mean by that is since I started playing Minecraft PvP, and this is mostly going to be targeted in the PvP community because that is majority of my life where I have been. I haven't really experienced too much of other communities of Minecraft. I've always kind of been in the PvP and competitive side, so I can't really speak for other corners of the community. But in terms of the PvP community, since I started, I was always bullied. I mean, it was always for reasons that didn't even matter that much. Like, for example, when I first started YouTube, people would say, "Are you a 13-year-old boy or are you a girl?" And, I get it. My voice is a little bit deeper than most, and I don't have the most, I guess, like feminine voice or look or vibe. I don't know. I'm just me, I'm chilling. But like, I'm still a woman. So I'd get bullied, off the bat. Like that first video, boom. Are you a 13-year-old boy or are you a girl? Like, bro, why do you care? I mean, I ended up getting a face cam because I actually got really hurt by those types of comments. And then eventually the comments got worse because then they could actually see my face and then they bullied my face. But that's besides the point. Of course, I'm not just going to target this towards like YouTube comments or niches, or I guess like certain areas where the toxicity is just always present no matter what. But I guess my point is it continued happening from there. Even once we start going into a more recent sort of timeline. So like what I was just mentioning now, by the way, that was like early Minecraft PvP community. This is back in the Hive, back in the MCSG days. This is even like maybe like the very beginning of like Badline UHC days. It was like pretty toxic, but this is what, like 2014, 2015, maybe 2016. So, we can't really judge or I guess talk too much about things that happened 10 years ago. But what I can talk about is I guess more so what's happened more recently, which is probably like in the last year, maybe 2 years, where I really felt like I just wasn't, I guess, prominent, or I don't even know what the right word is in this situation, but it didn't feel like I should be a part of the PvP community. And what I mean by that is I obviously have been a part of MCC for quite a while. I guess it's more than 2 years, come to think of it. I've been in MCC since I don't even know when, but all I know is that it's been a hot minute since I joined. And when I first joined, I had to give myself an ego. I had to be more confident than I normally am because that's something I simply have to do as a woman. I have to set my foot down and I have to say, "Oh, I am good at this game," because I knew that other people wouldn't believe that, or they wouldn't promote that, or I don't know. So just for reference, for anyone who doesn't really know much about MCC, or at least MCC in the times when I joined it, I joined through MCC Rising. So it was a less competitive event because it was like everyone was brand new to MCC, but we won that. My team won that. And then going into actual MCC after that, my first one was MCC All-Stars, which was basically against the actual roster of MCC players, aka veterans, people who have played pretty much since MCC 1. And that was a pretty big deal, and I did really, really well. I was outperforming even some of my own teammates and some people that were considered really, really good at the time. So I had to give myself that confidence boost and that ego and say, oh my gosh, I'm a freaking beast, I'm awesome. But of course I wasn't officially an MCC until a little bit later. When I did officially join, and I think MCC 21, I don't remember exactly where I placed. I think maybe like top 12, or maybe even I was in top 10. I don't know. But I think it was good enough where I decided to self-proclaim myself as an S tier. And I know it was a little ambitious at the time, but I really did think that out of the roster of the MCC participants at the time, I thought that I was actually up to par to some of the other S tiers, and I figured that I should promote that, and so I did. I ran with it. And then the MCC subreddit community really decided to just completely go against that, which it's one thing, like, if they have rules, they're like, actually, S tiers need to do this, this, and this before they're considered S tiers. That's one thing. Okay, sure. They would always push that. They would always say, well, JoJo actually needs to place first individual overall to be considered an S tier before blah, 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 blah. And, that was really frustrating. But after some time, I decided, you know what? Frick it. Like, maybe I do just need to place first. Like, maybe I do just need to actually prove myself. And then eventually I did. Eventually I placed first, and eventually people are like, okay, wait, maybe JoJo is an S tier. And then boom, that was happiness. No, it actually wasn't. Because a few events later, more players start joining the MCC roster, and they happen to be men, and also happen to be really good at the game. And these people join, and suddenly the MCC subreddit instantly considers these players S tiers. And, it's really hard for me personally to kind of like separate the situation. I mean, I understand like there is a significant, or I guess like a very visual skill gap in terms of like, these other people versus me. But at the same time, wasn't there a rule you have to place first individual, you have to do this, you have to play in at least 3 MCC? Like, there were so many rules that they came up with just for me. But no, a man comes in, does really freaking well, to be fair. Like, I'm not saying that they're not good, but they do really well. And suddenly the community's like, wait, head over heels, you're amazing, you're perfect, you're S tier, you're the best. You can imagine how frustrating that is, just to someone who, I guess, had to go through all the other stuff. But the true reason that I even bring all of this up is because when you deal with so much, when you deal with so much bullying back in 2014, 2015, 2016, you fast forward to a time where you think the world has changed, you think that the community has become a bit more chill, you think all of these things, you dip into a competitive aspect, aka MCC in this regard, and suddenly we're back to 2014, 2015, where it's like, well, you're going to have to prove yourself. You're going to have to prove that you're as good as you think or as you say you are, which is frustrating because, again, while there is some aspect of, being able to see the skill difference between myself and some other players, the main reason, or at least the main thing that I could tell, was the fact that I was a woman and the others are men. And it's just simply that. And the main reason that women don't really get as many opportunities or aren't really as prevalent, I guess is the word, in the Minecraft community is simply because I feel like people just aren't looking hard enough. Like, MCC is really, really good at getting all different types of people, and I am so thankful for Scott because he Scott's major, by the way, because he is really good at being able to find people. He knows people's, I mean, sure, you have to be friends with him, but like, he's very good at finding people who are good vibes, good energy, and bring them onto a competitive event that, sure, it's competitive, but at the same time, we're all still friends at the end of the day. We're not gonna like freaking kill each other over this. But somehow the community always thinks that everything is so important that we actually would kill each other over it. And that kind of bleeds into other parts of the community where there's just simply not enough women representation, and it's because people just aren't looking hard enough. And some people like to claim, oh, well, women aren't here because they're just not trying hard enough. Well, I do think that maybe particularly, I actually don't agree with that. I don't think that women aren't trying hard enough. I think what it is, in fact, is women have been bullied or just beat down or just very much drained from wanting to even be part of the community. And I actually have a personal experience with this because during this MCC time, I wasn't really doing too much YouTube and I really wanted to lock in on it. I really, really wanted to get back into YouTube, but I kept thinking to myself, I don't know what niche I want to do. And like the obvious niche is, oh, well, competitive Minecraft PvP stuff, because that's literally everything I have done up until today, up until my career, up until that point. And it wouldn't make any sense to try to do anything else, but it wasn't obvious to me because I was so hurt. I was so scarred from all my other experiences where I just genuinely didn't want to PvP anymore. I didn't want to be part of that community. I didn't want to be known as a competitive player as much as I am. I didn't want to be known as a PvPer because it was just so exhausting. It was impossible to be a woman in the competitive scene and feel like I was wanted at all. And the crazy part too is the fact that I actually had a lot of great friends and a lot of amazing other content creators really bringing me up and giving me that hype. But at the end of the day, when the communities that you're in are just constantly beating you down, no matter how much everyone around you is saying, like, yeah, keep doing this, do that, it just really freaking gets to you, man. I genuinely didn't upload to YouTube for maybe like a year, maybe 2 years, because I just didn't think I didn't think it was right for me. I made this second channel thinking that I could upload Hoplite content because it was what I was enjoying at the time. I was enjoying playing Hoplite, but I didn't want to upload it on my main channel because I didn't want to be known as that. Like, I just didn't want it to be my thing. I wanted to go into like the more peaceful building SMP vibe stuff because I felt alienated, which is crazy too because again, I've only ever really experienced the PvP side of the community, which means this very well could be happening in other parts of the community as well. But at the time, I just felt like it would be easier to give up PvPing and playing competitive stuff than it would be to, try to dig past all the hate comments and all the bad vibes that I would get from literally any streams, any community subreddits, whatever it was, tweets. Oh my gosh, there's just infinite hatred for women, and it is so exhausting. It is so frustrating. It is genuinely so difficult for me to even voice this and like try to explain it from the way that at least I saw it. I'm sure if you're a woman watching this, you have probably experienced something similar or maybe even worse, and I'm sorry, and I wish I could tell you that it's all amazing and butterflies and everything if you keep pushing, but at the end of the day, we are freaking trying our hardest. Like, I know so many women creators who are freaking pushing through and trying their absolute hardest to, put their name out there. But at the end of the day, it doesn't fully fall on the SMP owners or the event owners. I mean, yes, it heavily falls on them too, but it also falls on the community because at least from my perspective, I was lucky to be surrounded by people who were incredible and didn't see me as just like, oh, woman, like, let me either treat you one way or another. Like, no, we all saw each other as friends, so it was like chill. But I know that that's not the case for everyone, and I think it is important that obviously event owners and SMP owners and anyone who has any sort of power of like a whitelist, they should obviously try to be more aware and attentive to the community and women creators who are just absolutely killing it out there. But at the same time, the community, you guys, we freaking need to chill. Like, genuinely, we need to take a step back and really take a deep breath in and think, does it really matter if you're a woman or a man? No. The answer is quite simply no. Like, literally, you can be whatever the freak you want, but if you're making good content, if you're good energy, if you're good vibes, and we just have a good time, then I want to be around you. And other people should freaking see you too. If you're promoting good things in life and just being a all around good person, like, I just don't see why we just need to care so much about gender. And obviously, so deep into this video, now I'm going to mention the situation because I really didn't want this to be the main topic. But obviously, this topic was slightly inspired by the whole Marlowe situation that happened, who is allegedly not actually a woman, and it's just a guy like playing as a woman, doing this and that. And honestly, to me, the bigger concern is just like the cheating allegations. Like, cheating in Minecraft is cringe, don't do that, like, let's grow up. But what bothered me the most about that whole situation isn't the fact that, some guy was pretending to be a woman, because hey, for all we know, maybe they're just trying to discover themselves. But more realistically, what was upsetting to me is the way that people were sort of framing the whole situation by saying that this Danger Mario person or whatever was pretending to be a woman because growing on YouTube as a woman is easier. Oh my gosh, every person who has freaking said that ever just genuinely pissed me off. Like, it is just not true. It is just genuinely not true. And while it is true that if you're really good at Minecraft PvP, you will definitely get a boost, like people are definitely gonna instantly kind of look in your direction, I don't think being a woman is ever, the easy route here. And I don't know, there's a lot of things that come with that I don't fully want to go into because it's a very slippery slope. But just like, I don't know, people make these sorts of claims if you have a webcam, but then if you don't have a webcam, then it's like, oh, are you truly a woman? And like, there's so many things that come to this topic just from this situation that is so frustrating, when at the end of the day, what truly mattered, at least in that situation, is the fact that some random person on the freaking internet is cheating and basically, like, I don't know, hacking their way to the top of some leaderboard. But like, is the fact that they pretended to be a woman really that big of a deal? Maybe a little bit. It just kind of depends on their intentions. I really don't actually know much about the situation, but at the end of the day, if their intentions was because girls on YouTube make it more, then that's just actually false. And that just goes to show that maybe that is just a man running the account. I don't know. It really was just upsetting. I don't know if I'm wording myself correctly here. I do apologize if anything has like come across incorrectly at all. At the end of the day, my message here is I think that there are so many incredible women content creators out there. I'm actually going to link a few down in the description below, who are just genuinely like killing it, whether it's on Twitch, YouTube, whatever it is, and they just don't get enough recognition. And there's a lot of reasons behind that. There's a lot of speculation, but at least from my experience, I think it is quite evidently just the fact that in the Minecraft competitive space, people just have this hatred for women. There's people who don't hate women at all and maybe don't watch any women creators, and I guess that's fine. Should you make the effort to try to watch more women creators? Sure, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. I can't dictate to you who is a good creator to you or not. But it's all about like actually giving it an effort. You know what I mean? Like the second that you actually just give it a try, you just watch some YouTuber, you're like, oh, you know what? I freak with this person, then you're good. Oh, they happen to be a woman? Awesome. Oh, they happen to be a man? Okay, cool. Let's move on with our day. It really doesn't need to be that difficult. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to go in circles here, but again, part of the solution is just give every single content creator an effort. And sure, I think we definitely need a little bit of a boost for women creators right now because this is such a male-dominated space, and that's that. That's just simply how it is. Listen, I went to school for computer science. I was one of 3 girls in a classroom, okay? So I understand what it's like to be in the minority, but again, the second you make a woman feel more comfortable in a space, there will be more of them, and you will be surprised at how many of them are really freaking good at what they do. This goes for event owners, SMP owners, any Minecraft player, any Minecraft content creator, and the entire community, whether it's the PvP community or literally any other Minecraft community out there. Again, I've definitely dipped my toes into a lot of them, but the main prominent one has always been PvP. So, it's the main thing that I can speak on. Also, The appreciating women thing also goes for my beautiful non-binary friends. Obviously, there's a lot of different minorities out there that definitely need the attention. But again, I'm only speaking in this video out of my experience. So, that's why I primarily focused on women here. But of course, if we just sit down and look at the statistics, well, we know that there's other minorities out there who also need attention. And there's also incredible creators out there, which I will also link down below. So genuinely, like, if you just give it a try, that's all you need to do. And hey, maybe you already do give it a try. Maybe what you need to do today is just like promote another woman creator to one of your friends. It doesn't even need to be a freaking tweet, guys. Like it genuinely doesn't even need to be that intense where people take it to Twitter or anything. Like, let's just relax, send it to a friend, maybe watch it with your partner. I really don't know or don't really mind who you send it to. Just try to promote other women creators because you'd be surprised at how much amazing content is out there. I've been kind of going in circles, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope maybe you learned something new. And if you're a woman content creator, I hope that maybe my story kind of inspires you to kind of kick it back and dip back into the Minecraft community, because at the end of the day, the only reason that I didn't fully quit, and this is actually insane, this is actually crazy lore here, the only reason that I didn't fully quit out of the PvP community is because of Lifesteal. Lifesteal, genuinely, they're so good at being aware of content creators in the space. They're all honestly, genuinely incredible and just really kind people. And I'm not just saying this, like, none of them know that I'm making this video. So like, I don't even know if any of them will watch this video, but they gave me a chance and they didn't freaking care that I was a woman or they didn't, it wasn't like a necessity for them. Like, they just saw a good content creator and they invited me. And I know that because when I joined, I had quite a few of them message me saying, hey, congrats, like, we've checked out your channel, like, this looks really good, this looks really cool. And like, that's what they saw. They saw a good, decent content creator that they wanted part of the server, and they freaking did it. So anyway, shout out to Lifesteal. You guys made me stay in the competitive space, and I really appreciate that because I love competitive Minecraft. I do. I hated the idea of thinking that I had to quit it. So anyway, yeah, once again, if you're a woman out there, woman content creator, you feel like you shouldn't be in the space because of the way that you're being treated, well, you definitely deserve to be here, because if it's what you want to do, then it's definitely what you should do. Just keep doing what you're doing, because hopefully very soon any one of us will find you, and the community will soon learn that, there's incredible creators out there. Let the record show, I filmed all of this before the new Marlow upload. There is a whole new wave of opinions and thoughts that I have from this. In general, I don't really know too much about the situation, but what I've seen as a reaction, not just from the community, but also what my own peers, content creators, are saying, is absolutely beyond belief, and it honestly brings my blood to a boil. But that just isn't the point of this video. I don't know if I will talk about this situation ever publicly, because I, again, don't really know too much about the situation overall, but just the way that people are reacting it's really pissing me off. Sorry, excuse my language, but I hope that everything that I spoke about previously is still a bit of inspiration and motivation to keep moving forward for anyone who I guess has been looking for that motivation. Don't let something like this pull you back. This is very weird. It's a very weird situation, but don't yield to this. Don't let the freaking toxic men who are saying absolutely atrocious things, don't let them have that power. Okay, that's all.